chosen one, stop right here. Don't scroll past this. Don't let your attention drift. This message is too precise to be heard halfway. You've been carrying something quietly, something from your past that still tries to define how you see yourself. And if you don't confront it the right way, you will keep shrinking in places where you were meant to stand strong. You've made mistakes, not small ones, decisions you wish you could take back, moments that still replay in your mind when everything gets quiet. You've questioned yourself. You've wondered how things could have gone so wrong. And if you're honest, part of you still feels disqualified because of it. But chosen one, what if the very thing you've been trying to hide is the very thing God is preparing to use? Engage with this truth. Don't just listen to it. If this is touching something real inside you, acknowledge it, because this is not about pretending your past didn't happen. This is about understanding what it actually means. Throughout Scripture, the pattern is clear. People were not chosen because they were perfect. They were shaped through moments that exposed their weakness. One man who walked closely with Jesus failed publicly at a critical moment. Fear overtook him, and he denied what he once stood for. Yet that same man later stood boldly, leading and strengthening others with a conviction that could not be shaken. His failure did not disqualify him, it prepared him. Another man was called to lead, yet he was filled with doubt. He questioned himself repeatedly. He needed reassurance, and still he was used to accomplish something far greater than he believed he was capable of. His hesitation did not cancel his purpose, it refined it. This is where you need to shift your perspective. Failure is not the end of your story. It is part of your formation. But let's be clear, failure is not something to chase. It is not something to glorify. It is something God redeems when you surrender it. Right now, the enemy is trying to use your past against you, not by reminding you of what happened alone, but by attaching shame to it. Shame tells you to hide. Shame tells you to stay small. Shame tells you that you are not worthy to move forward. But God does something completely different. Where shame tries to trap you, God brings understanding. Where shame isolates, God restores. Where shame keeps you stuck, God invites you to grow. And this is why your past still carries power, not because of what happened, but because of what it taught you. Your failures exposed areas you could not see before. They revealed patterns that needed to change. They humbled parts of you that once relied too much on your own strength. They forced you to depend on God in ways you never would have if everything had gone smoothly. What once broke your confidence is now building your conviction. Think about it. You are more aware now. You are more cautious where you once rushed. You are more discerning where you once trusted blindly. That is not weakness. That is growth. But here is the turning point. As long as you keep your past buried in shame, it cannot serve you. It will only control you. The moment you bring it into the light with honesty and surrender, it begins to transform. You stop running from your story and start learning from it. You stop hiding your scars and start understanding them. You stop seeing yourself as someone who failed and start recognizing yourself as someone who learned. And this is what it means when we say your past becomes a weapon. Not in a literal sense, not in a way that promotes harm, but in a way that strengthens you. Your past becomes wisdom that protects you from repeating the same mistakes. It becomes discernment that helps you recognize what is not right for you. It becomes a testimony that encourages others who are struggling in the same place you once were. The enemy fears that shift, because as long as you stay ashamed, you stay silent. But the moment you understand what God has done in your life, your voice carries weight. Your story carries impact. Your experience becomes something that lifts others instead of something that weighs you down. Let me ask you something, and answer it honestly. What did your hardest moment teach you? Not what did it cost you, not how painful it was, but what did it teach you? Because that lesson is where your strength is hidden. Chosen one, growth does not come from pretending you never fell. It comes from refusing to stay down. There is a process to this. First, you acknowledge your past without running from it. You face it honestly, not to condemn yourself, but to understand it. Second, you extract the lesson. Every failure carries instruction. Every mistake reveals something that can guide your future. Third, you release the guilt. You cannot grow while holding on to what God has already forgiven. Guilt will keep you stuck in a place you were meant to move beyond. Fourth, you reframe your story. Instead of saying, "This ruined me," you begin to say, "This taught me." Fifth, you use it, not to boast, not to glorify the mistake, but to bring clarity and encouragement to others. Someone is struggling with what you have already overcome. And finally, you align your future decisions with what you have learned. Growth is not just about understanding, it is about applying. Now hear this clearly. Do not fall into the trap of repeating cycles and calling it growth. Learning means change. If the same patterns continue, then the lesson has not been fully embraced yet. God redeems, but He also teaches. Chosen one, your past is not your prison. It is not your identity. It is not the final word over your life. You are not disqualified. You are being refined. What hurt you did not destroy you. What you regret did not end your story. What you wish you could undo has still been placed in God's hands, and He knows how to bring purpose out of it. So stop shrinking, stop holding back, stop letting your past silence your future. If this message has spoken directly to you, don't keep it to yourself. Engage with it, declare it. Type "weapon activated" as your commitment to move forward with strength and clarity. And if you know someone who is still trapped in regret, share this with them. Let them see that their story is not over. Because chosen one, when you understand what God has done in your life, you don't walk in shame anymore. You walk in strength.